Mr. Eggplant presents.
Hey guys, Tyler here, and thank you for checking out this video. This is the start of my week 3 journey for my gearing progression here on my Marksman Hunter for Season 4, and this is going to be the week 2 vault. So I'm excited to open this with you guys once again. So in my vault, I have 6 different options. I have 3 heroic slot options, since we did clear Aberrus last week on heroic, and then I have 3 Mythic Plus options. So I did promise you guys I was going to start trying to fill my vault with 8s, and I did just that. It's all right. We're going to be short, sweet, and to the point because I've got raid here in about 20 minutes. So we are going to be heading into a Myrddrasil this week. But first, we have to see what I get out of my vault. So I am make sure I'm set to marksman specialization. I got some really great items already from the last couple of weeks that we've talked about in previous videos. And then also, you can get 2 bullion this week. So definitely take advantage of that with the weekly. So I might put this video out a little bit sooner than normal. But anyway, let's open up this vault. And as always, I'm going to block it. I know you guys can see it, but I can't. Pray for good items. I really would love to see an Iridius fragment on here. Or maybe a Mythic track, tier piece, something like that. So, all right. So first up for raid, we have the Wellspring wristlets. Okay, nothing too crazy. Next, we have the Drake Stalker's Trophy Pauldrons. Heroic tier could be there with the Catalyst. And then we have the Twisted Flame Cuffs, which I had in my vault in this exact spot last week. I hope we're not going to start seeing a trend. Here we go. We have a Myth Track Helm. So this is, right now, this is my pick because it will be the highest item level helm possible for me, which means I'll get the most out of my essence that we got from a Myrddrasil. So this is my pick so far. Here we go. Number 2 is the Gale Rattle Gauntlets, which I'm pretty sure was in my vaults last week, or at least gloves with the same picture. So that's still a good upgrade for me. And we have shoulders. So we have 3 different options for us for tier pieces. This is going to be a very easy pick. Also, by the way, if you guys are ever picking your tokens aren't a bad thing because 6 tokens equals 2 sockets on your gear or on your rings, or whatever it may be. So definitely consider that if there's not a really good option for you. But I'm going to be picking up this Mythic Track Helm, just like Bo did week 1. That way I can upgrade that fully so I can get the most out of my head enchant. So hopefully I get some really good stuff this week. We're going to find out here in just a second, but best of luck this week, guys, and I'll see you in the future. And just like that, another week down here in Season 4. Hard to believe we're already done with 3 weeks. We've seen all 3 raids. So a Myrddrasil was the Awakened raid this week, and my guild did go 9 of 9 normal and 9 of 9 heroic. We did have to take 2 days to clear it, just because it felt like Tendril was definitely tuned higher than normal. And I mean, as in like, you know, the heroic we've done in the past, because actually Fire Act was easier than Tendril. But all right, so we're going to see some really big power spikes here on my Hunter from week 2 to week 3. We already saw that, but then from week 3 to week 4. So I'm really excited to see what my build is going to look like this time next week. But looking at my gear, I am up to 512 item level. That does go down to 511 for single target or for a raid build. But I did go ahead and pick up that helm, so that means my incandescent essence is going to be as big as it can possibly be there at a 528 item level, since it does scale based on the items level. And then let's see, so I did end up making another wrist piece. So basically when I want to switch my build up here, I've got the adaptive jacket, this Armguards for raid, and then when I'm doing Mythic Plus, I'm doing the 2 blue silk lining, and they're going to be, I have it, so it's just a 502 right now. I have enough Aspect Awaken Crest to pump it up, but I'm going to go ahead and pump up some items that I'm going to get tomorrow from my vault. So that was the main thing that I got changed this week. I did pick up an Iridius fragment. I got this just a champion version, so it's not the full-fledged version just yet. I did play around with this a lot and saw some really great increase to my damage. But again, it is a 3-minute trinket instead of a 2-minute, and I'm kind of leaning towards the quality of life for Mythic Plus of running with Ashes of the Ember Soul, which is one of the lone 2-minute cooldown trinkets. We can literally just put it into a macro true shot and we can send it every single time. And something I didn't think about, but Bo did over in my Discord, so shout out to him for this, that you just go ahead and build your 28 to 30% base haste without the trinket, so that way if you do run with the Ember Soul trinket, that you're not feeling like you're losing any of that haste. You do go into diminished returns, yes, but for me, for example, I would just be sacrificing the mastery. And you do get a large amount of your main stat during that Ember Soul. I'm probably going to try to pick it up in maybe LFR or something like that before reset, and then just see if I can play around with that. That'll probably be either a pick I do tomorrow or much later down the line. It just kind of depends on what my guild is going to be doing. And then I did purchase with the 2 free, basically the free bullion item we got this week. I did get the Seal of Diurnus Chosen, which is the eggnog ring from the bullion vendor. And I got this pumped up to 509, but I don't have enough of the which crests are these? The worm crest. So I need to go back and farm some more of those so I can pump this up past this. But the dot damage was doing approximately 0.5 to 0.8% of my total DPS for entire dungeon keys, to give you guys an idea. And I did pump up my Neltharian's Call to Dominance that I actually got from the Echo of Neltharion last week, so I did manage to pump that up. Other than that, everything else has pretty much stayed the same, and I still am running with the 4 set technically from Season 3, so that's going to be my big get for Week 4. I'm going to wait to see what I get out of my vault, because so I do have the Mythic Helm already, and I do have Hero Shoulders, so that's good to go. I did change those over with the Catalyst, and then I did pick up these Hero Pants, so I'll make those into a tier piece as well, since I have plenty of tier charge or Catalyst charges at the Catalyst. And then I do have a champion pair of gloves, so right after, at the very end of the night, we finally got a dungeon to get me another pair of pants so I could get my 4 set. And I do also have my Mark of Mastery as well, which gave me a free tier piece that I got from clearing either getting Keystone Master or clearing one of the raids on Heroic that is Awakened, that is. So I've got all that. I just need to figure out what I'm getting out of my vault. So I'm going to wait until tomorrow right after work when I get on before raid to see if I can get a tier piece out of raid. That way I can make sure and have all 4 pieces that will be hero track or higher. But again, I'll just have to wait and see, because this thing could be any of the remaining 4 pieces that I need, and I will most likely be running with all 5 of the tier pieces, just because there's some pretty good stats on those, particularly if you're trying to get up to diminished returns on crit and haste. Okay, so that's kind of what I have right now. I do have that 1 bullion, so my next bullion purchase is interesting. So I mentioned in my video, if you guys had checked that out, that the first one was going to be the Nelthrax bow. Got that. Call to Dominance, got that, but I got it out of the actual raid. And then the next one would be the Grief Torch. So Grief Torch is amazing at single target. It falls off pretty heavily, and there's just better options for single or for AoE or for a Mythic Plus build. So if I'm going to continue to do more raiding, I'm probably going to pick up a Grief Torch tomorrow, depending, of course, what I get out of my vault. But if my guild is not going to be doing much more raiding after the next couple of weeks, I'm probably going to skip it and then either do the meme pick of picking an Ashes to see if the quality of life is really worth the little bit of a damage loss, or maybe I will pick up the Filial ring, which is the shield ring from Diurna. It's a heavy mastery ring, so I would change my ring here, and it would really throw my stats kind of crazy right now. But I mean, it's still going to be a ring that goes all the way up to 535, which will be best in slot. So I'm eventually going to pick it up anyway, so maybe sooner rather than later. So I basically have 3 options for this next week. It's either going to be Grief Torch, it's going to be the Filial Ring, or it's going to be Ashes of the Ember Soul. And again, the Ashes pick is just purely for quality of life. Although I did check Blood Mallet recently, it has been simming really, really close to Puzzle Box and really close to Iridius Fragment. So maybe you guys give that a try, or if you ended up getting one out of the Awakened raid this last week, give it a shot and see if it can really boost your damage. And then really quick, I did manage somehow to fill my vault. I had one done today. I did 7, or actually I did 8 keys today. So I have a total of 6 options to choose from. So at worst, I'm going to have 2 sockets, but hopefully I can get some really good stuff out of my vault. And then my Mythic Plus rating, I did get up to 21-23. I have a really low Nelthris, and I have a really low Alderman, and I don't have an 8 or higher on Algathar Academy. We just didn't get those keys this week, and I did quite a few keys. We literally bounced back and forth between Nakud, Azure Vault, and Halls of Infusion most of the time. Although I have to say, I just got done with the Brackenhide Hollow earlier tonight, and it's going to be the next video up on my channel. I absolutely demolished that key. I did 502k DPS for the entire thing at a +8. We haven't really done anything higher than an 8 just yet, but I did go in there with the heavy ammo build for tyrannical bosses, and I absolutely melted things. In fact, that first boss, the Warband, I almost had 1,000,000 DPS for the entire fight. It went to like 960 or something like that, and that's not even full build. I don't have all the extra bonus stats from having the Season 4 set. Things are looking really, really fun for me on my Marksman Hunter, and I cannot wait to get into these next couple of weeks to see what we can really do. But that's kind of where I'm looking at right now. I haven't perfected the perfect build that I want to use yet for Mythic Plus. It does change a little bit, like I said, between like heavy ammo and light ammo. Unfortunately, if you're not pulling big, heavy ammo may be the way to go. You won't be able to cleave as much. You'll be able to hit a total of 4 targets instead of hitting up to 8. But if that's something that's going to work better for your group and how your group is pulling, or maybe you're pugging a lot, for example, you might give heavy ammo a shot, because Bullet Storm is really not worth it. It's kind of sad that Sharpshooter wasn't here and only like a 1-pointer. That way you could still get to Salvo, because if you're going to go with Salvo, you have to pick Bullet Storm, or you have to pick one of the ammos. So unfortunately, if this was a 1-point ability, sometimes I would just flat out pick that over light or heavy ammo. But that's just a personal choice. But I really hope that you guys have a wonderful week this next week, and I hope that this week was very kind to you. Tyrannical keys are not always easy on your Marksman Hunter, but I feel like my survivability is way up, particularly because I have 15% base versatility right now, and that is makes me feel really good, because I'm not sacrificing damage, and I'm surviving a little bit more. If I can eventually get the necklet, I still need to test that and do some stuff with that. But if I can eventually get the necklet, and then eventually get the other ring, the Filial Ring, that's just going to be more shields that we can proc, and more damage that we can soak. But other than that, that's all I have for you guys tonight. Best of luck in your vault this coming week. I'm really looking forward to another big power spike. I'm going to upgrade my second embellishment all the way up, and then I'll be looking to work on one more embellishment, which will be the risks for raid. But other than that, I'm just going to buy my item with my bullion, and then pump up the ring, and then pump up hopefully whatever tier piece I get, or whatever trinket I may get from my vault. But leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. What are you guys getting in your vault? What are you hoping to get? And be sure, if you are in my Discord, to share with everybody what you get out of your vault tomorrow or Wednesday for you guys that play over in the EU. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.